Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Carbolic Patel and I'm back with the second episode of this series where I explain to you different case laws. So we were on law of contracts and we did some case laws of offer and acceptance. To continue that series, so this case law for today's episode will be the only case law that I would be explaining because it is one of the very important case laws. This case law is Carlill versus Carbolic Smoke Ball Company. So let's get into it. Okay, so in this case there was a company, Carbolic Smoke Ball, which produced a product named Smoke Ball which had carbolic acid into it. Now basically they said that if anyone uses this, they can avoid getting caught influenza or any other such disease which is very much similar to cold or influenza. They claimed this. So basically what the product was, it has a rubber ball or something, and it was connected with a tube which had carbolic acid in that. The directions to use it was the people just had to attach the tube or get the tube near their nose and use and pump the rubber so that they can get some pumps of the carbolic acid to avoid catching influenza or any other flu. The company was very confident on their product, so they said and they claimed that you can avoid any disease which is similar in pattern like influenza and cold, simple cold. And they said that we are very confident, and they posted in different newspapers. If I'm not wrong, the newspaper's name was Pall Mall Magazine, and they posted in that and they printed in that if anyone uses it as per the directions which are given by the company, that they have to use it 3 times a day. And if they use it like that and the directions are followed, and if they still catch influenza, they can get 100 pounds as a reward, that they caught influenza even if they are using the company's product. So we will give you 100 pounds for it as a reward, as a compensation as such. So many people believed it and they started using, and they got very much confident on the product. The printing on the paper about this product and this offer was done on 13th November of 1891. This case is basically of 1892. Now after this printing was done, they also said in the newspaper printing that they have given 1,000 pounds in a Alliance Bank, so that they can share that how much confident they were and how much of a truth there was in this whole newspaper article. Yeah, so basically that happened. Now there is the claimant, Mrs. Carlill. So Mrs. Carlill believed the newspaper article to be true and bought the smoke ball. It was written that they have to use it 3 times per day for 2 weeks to not get in contact with influenza. She used it as per the instructions, but she still caught influenza. Now, which basically makes the statement which was provided by the company untrue and vague. When this happened, Mr. Carlill, who was solicitor at that time, wrote many letters to the company that now I need the reward because whatever you said was untrue, and now I need the reward you claimed in the newspaper. Many letters of him went unseen, unheard of, but one of the letters was answered by the company, and the company stated that the instructions which were given to use the carbolic smoke ball was not followed by Mrs. Carlill. That's why she caught influenza. So they are not liable for giving any compensation to them, and they are not going to give any compensation. Mr. Carlill brought actions against the company. What happens is now I'll tell you in the judgment. There were different issues raised, so I'm going to state the 4 issues which were the main issues of this case. First, first issue was whether there was a binding effect of a contract on both the disputing parties. Second, whether a formal notification of acceptance was required on the behalf of the claimant. Third, whether accepting the terms of contract was sufficient in this case to form a contract. Fourth, whether there was a consideration for the Carbolic Smokeball company to give £100. So because both the parties need to have consideration in a contract, so they asked what was the consideration of the defendant party, that is the Smokeball company. Now we'll move to the arguments which were presented by the claimant and the defendant. First of all, the claimant, Mr. and Mrs. Carlill, presented that when they used the Carbolic Smokeball as per the advertisement and the instructions given, they believed the advertisement was not vague, and they made that decision on basis of that advertisement that they will get the compensation or the reward price if they are caught with influenza, which means the the company knew what they were saying in the newspaper, as well as going and depositing £1,000 in Alliance Bank just states what their intention was, but true that they will give the £100 if they needed to give it to them. So basically making them having the intention of giving the reward if whatever they stated in the advertisement was wrong. And as per the consideration point which they were asking, there was enough consideration on part of the claimant and the defendant at the same time, because the defendant, which was the company who was selling, their sales increased after their advertisement because people started believing and buying, so their sales increased, which was enough of the consideration they needed for the contract. This was the arguments which was presented by the claimant. Now the arguments from the side of defendant were I am dividing it into 3 to 4 parts. The first argument that they presented was that they whatever they posted or printed in the advertisement was not a proper promise they gave, because people use it as a boasting thing and as to make people more interested in their product in advertisement every time. Most of the times people do that in their advertisement. So it is just words, it is very vague. There was no promise which was given on their behalf that they will definitely give the reward of £100. Second argument that they presented was that there was no specific time limit which was given, as well as there was no means of checking if the person who is using the smoke ball was using it as per the instructions which was given by the company. So they had no means of checking if whatever they are allegedly saying that they have done or used it in a certain way, they have done it. Third argument they presented was that there was no proper contract, because proper contract needs a proper acceptation as well. Now when there was no acceptance given from the side of the claimant itself, because there was no acceptance posted that they are using it or they are not using it or they are using it in certain way, there cannot be a contract. The last argument they used was this was all a marketing strategy and not a contract which is binded by law. Lastly, let's come to the judgment. Judgment was given by 3 judges, Justice Lindley, Justice Bowen and Justice Smith. Justice Lindley said that the claimant should get the £100 because the advertisement was not a mere puff or empty boast, but it was a contract. It was a unilateral contract because there was no one who could have given an acceptance in any way. So it was a unilateral contract, and the £1,000 they gave deposited in the Alliance Bank made it seem very much of a contract, as well as anything which is posted in form of advertisement is declared as a express promise. So Justice Lindley was on the side of the claimant and he said that they need to get the reward of £100. the next Justice Bowen said that he agrees with whatever Justice Lindley said, but at the same time he added that there was enough consideration on behalf of the defendant, because the consideration was the sales and increase in the sales and the money they were getting because of that sales of the Carbolic smoke ball. Justice A.L. Smith also agreed with both other justices, and he also added that the advertisement was not vague, because anyone who is making an advertisement, people will go and necessarily agree that that is a offer which is made, and if the conditions are fulfilled, that is the acceptance from my behalf. So there is a contract which is made in there. So basically judgment came on the side of the claimant, and they said that they need to get the £100 compensation because they caught influenza even though they used the Carbolic smoke ball, because it was specifically stated in the advertisement that if they use it according to instructions and still get caught influenza, they will get the compensation / reward. This case law is one of the important case laws which comes in like very long answers. It is also one of the very important case laws in the history of our law, because it stated that advertisements can be taken very seriously in terms of a contract, in terms of unilateral contract, and if there is a specific consideration of any type, be it increase of sales, be it of anything, they will be considered as a contract. And that is why advertisement which are posted needs to be very much off on a detailed version, because if they are not, then this case can happen all over again. I explained only this case law because this is one of the very important case laws which in law school comes for 10 markers easily in any exam, and 10 markers means you have to fill 5 to 10 pages, you have to get your facts for 1 page, you have to get issues for 1 case and everything. So I tried to explain to you as much as I could for this case law. Hopefully you understood a lot of this. If not, ask me questions in the comment section. I will try and answer you there, or I will make a video on it. But yeah, so I guess bye-bye, and hope you enjoyed this video, and soon I'm going to see you guys as my juniors, and those who are not in my college and still viewing my channel, welcome to my channel. And yeah, bye-bye.